everybody. Welcome back to the Ultimate Tribute Band Podcast. I'm Roger, and this will be a fun one today because this is a tribute to one of my all-time favorite bands. Also, this is a tribute that has a lot of tributes. And so we want to talk to a band that's working in a world where there's a lot of bands doing what they're doing. So how are they doing it differently? And that's, I think, going to be very helpful for a lot of you folks out there. So the band is called Twisted Gypsy, and it's Fleetwood Mac with a twist. And so we're going to be talking to the performer who performs as Christine McVie. This is Melia Scaletti. Melia, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's good to be here.
So where are you at right now? Where are we talking to you?
I'm in Orange County.
Oh, okay. So you're local. I'm here in Riverside County. So this band started in Orange County. It started here in Southern California.
It started in Southern California, we say, because we're kind of all over the place. We've got some people up in Camarillo, Burbank. We're just kind of sprinkled everywhere.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, not everybody lives within walking distance to each other at this point. Garage bands aren't a thing anymore. Now people basically find people online so they can be far away.
It's so funny because my manager actually did find me online.
Okay, so how long, first of all, it's twistedgypsyband.com. Let's make sure we get that out there. We'll mention it a couple times. Twistedgypsyband is the .com is the website, and Twisted Gypsy is the name of the band. So give me the background. How long has it been going? How long have you been a part of it? Have you been in it from the beginning?
I have not been in it from the beginning. It's been going on about, I think it's year 8 now. And we've had some people in and out along the way. Our drummer, Milo, he is the OG. He's been in the band the whole time. And so that is our OG man, and he's such a great guy. I've been in the band. I joined right before the pandemic happened. So I played 3 shows with them, and then whoop.
Good timing. Good timing.
Honestly, it was okay because our repertoire is quite extensive. So it gave me a little extra time to practice and kind of brush up on my technique. So it all ended up working out. But right now, our lineup is really good and really strong. We've got some subs in the band to kind of ease on bookings because it's really difficult to get 6 people available all the time.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, they can be busy. Plus, they might be in other projects. They have day jobs or whatever the case may be.
It's always something.
Yeah, it can be hard to wrangle. Yeah, it's always something for sure. So you've been in for how long now, did you say?
So about 4 years now. About
4 years. Band's been going for about 8.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as I mentioned at the top, I mean, look, Fleetwood Mac is a seminal, it's an iconic band. And just like all those iconic type of bands from the 70s and 80s, there's a lot of tributes to a band like this.
There are a lot of tributes.
So talk to me about how you guys approach what you do. Give me your kind of, foundation. What's your plan here?
So our approach is in the name, Twisted Gypsy. So we're Fleetwood Mac with a twist, reimagined. We're a little more high energy. We play the same songs, and we really try to sound exactly like the record. We don't use any tracks because we want it to be a full live performance. But with that being said, we do kind of amp it up a little bit. Nikki and myself, we're kind of jumping up and down on stage, and that's not really something that Christine McVie really did, nor did she ever really put her leg up on the keyboard, but it definitely makes for a good show. So that's what we do, and our fans love it, and I think they enjoy the little harder side of Fleetwood Mac. So that's what sets us apart, I say.
So Stevie obviously is a big focal point in Fleetwood Mac. So what you're saying is you and I suppose the other characters kind of try to amp up your visibility on that stage a little more and bring more of that live element to it.
Yeah, we definitely do.
and no tracks is big. That's unusual in this world. So good for you guys.
Thanks.
Was that a conscious decision, or did you just feel like, no, we've got enough players, we can pull this off?
It was probably a little bit of both, but definitely a conscious decision. We really wanted to make sure that we have people in the band that can play all the parts, and we have an extra guitar player, and I think that really helps amp up the sound, and he can really shred the guitar, so it just kind of helps a lot.
Gotcha.
I did all of the sound design on my keyboard. I have the most amazing keyboard. It's a Roland RD2000. It's got thousands of sounds on it, and I can go in and design each sound per song, which I did, and I had so much fun doing. So I were able to create, I think, a very unique, very known Fleetwood Mac sound with the players and the instruments that we have. So.
Mm-hmm. And you said the drummer is essentially the original member of the band. So through revisions and changes, lineups change. Is the focus on straight up Fleetwood Mac in any particular era? Is it all over? Do you do Stevie Nicks solo stuff? Do you do Christine McVie solo stuff? Lindsey Buckingham? What's the playlist kind of like?
Yeah, we are a little bit all over the place.
Okay.
We do, the iconic Fleetwood Mac songs. We definitely throw in some 80s Stevie Nicks solo, like Stand Back, and it's always a banger. People love that song. We do Holiday Road, Lindsey Buckingham.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that
Nice.
also is a banger. People love. We only played that song during like Christmas time, and then we just like did an experiment and just kept playing it, and like people just want to hear that song, and they got their drinks up in the air and they're singing "Road," and it's just the best time.
Nice.
It's the only song people start square dancing to.
So the twist. So okay. So visually, are you kind of going for their look? Are you dressing kind of as them? Just now, your Stevie Nicks. Her name is Nikki.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We call her Nikki Nicks.
Nikki Nicks. There you go. So does she kind of go with the look?
Yep. She wears the top hat and the flowy, witchy outfits, and
she's spinning and twirling.
Oh yeah, she's all over the place. That girl, she's an athlete, and she's running into the crowd and dancing with the fans, and just like connecting with the audience. And we both of us wear wigs. I don't know if you can see my Christine McVie wig is right up there, and I usually tend to wear like the blazer and a more classic Christine look, I would say. That's just what I feel. I feel good wearing that. And our bass players, he's got the hat and like some kind of penguin shirt on sometimes, or a baseball shirt. Mick in the back, Milo, is got a hat. We used to make him wear this awful looking beard to look like Mick. He doesn't do that so much anymore. One time he wore, I think there was like a show that Mick Fleetwood was in underwear in, I think. And I think Milo did do that one time. I think it was at the Viper Room.
Yeah, you can get away with it there. That's
right. So we do really try to look like them, and sound like them, and then dance a little more than them.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, like you said, a little more on stage energy, which, yeah, I think that's fair to say. Christine didn't move around. Lindsey Buckingham probably, I suppose, in a sense, moved around. Stevie obviously moved around, but when you got everybody kind of doing something, it adds just visually more dynamics going on stage. So when they got it going, but you've been in it long enough, so the bookings and how do the mechanics of this happen? Again, in the context of you have to set yourself apart on some level from Fleetwood Mac tributes. So what was the approach, or what is your approach to booking shows and making connections?
So we have a wonderful manager, Billy. It's his band. He's a great guy, and he works with a few different bookers to get us shows. And the pitch is Fleetwood Mac with a twist, or Fleetwood Mac reimagined. So we come at it with, I don't do any of the bookings, but I do work with Billy a little bit on the bookings and like getting them scheduled in the calendar and making sure we got the right people on deck. So it's really just like putting us out there as high energy, fast paced, harder rock and roll Fleetwood Mac. And gotcha. I think that does help us and sets us aside for sure. Though I will say, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think it's great that there are so many Fleetwood Mac tribute bands, because Fleetwood Mac is my favorite band of all time, and I just love that so many people are out there like celebrating Fleetwood Mac. I think it's amazing. I want to have a fleet off with all of these Fleetwood Mac tribute bands. I just think that would be the best time ever. We can have a huge like Fleetwood Mac love fest, and maybe there's a winner at the end. I don't know.
Oh, that's an interesting concept though. Get a band that's got a fair amount of tributes and create a festival, almost a competition in a way. But yeah, that'd be fun. That's not a bad idea. I think Journey alone could take a weekend.
Yeah.
So you guys have been going for a while now. Do you play? You're based in Southern California. Do you play outside of California? Do you play around the country? What's your ratio inside, outside California kind of thing?
Yeah, we do a little bit of, mostly Southern California, but we do travel a little bit. We've been to New York, Schenectady. We've been to Oregon and Arizona a few times. We're going to Vegas in March, which I'm really excited for. I know they've gone to Texas. This was before I was around. And I think a couple of other places. So nothing too crazy, nothing too far out there. I mean, we get plenty of work in Southern California. So
that's good.
It just kind of works for us to stay here. So
yeah, you have some quality gigs. I looked at the calendar, OC Fair and Pala Casino and really nice venues. Campus Jacks. I love that place out there in Costa Mesa, Newport Beach area.
Yeah, that's a cool spot.
Yeah, it's a very nice place. So the not using tracks, 100% live, big varied set of Fleetwood Mac music. Do you guys have a set show you kind of pitch, or do you like customize it and set it to whatever the guest or the client's looking for? Do you have kind of a show that you put out there?
Yeah, we have kind of a set show that we pitch for sure. Now that being said, if a client wants to hear something, like we'll make it work, you know. But for the majority, I would say our most powerful show is our 90-minute set, where it's all the greatest hits. It's fast and it's just got people dancing the whole time, and then kind of slows down with Landslide and Sarah, and then gets them back up on their feet, and big bangers at the end. And we do kind of we do mix it a little bit. I probably should have said this earlier. We mix a little other artists in our songs. So we'll do a little bit of mashups, like throw a little Led Zeppelin in there, and it kind of really throws people off guard in the best way. And they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're playing this song." So that's always a fun thing. But
did that kind of just happen organically, or is that anything Fleetwood Mac did in live shows?
It just kind of happened.
That happened just you guys?
Yeah, it just kind of happened organically. Well, I know that, Stevie Nicks has worked with like Tom Petty and other artists. So we do some songs that Stevie Nicks has done with other artists. And then it just kind of like went from there. We're like, well, what else can we kind of throw in there and kind of get people excited? So.
Well, that's one of the nice things about being 100% live is you guys can really just kind of let the show go where it goes. And although you've got a structure, you can kind of say, hey, this is working. Let's go here. Let's try this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a whole lot of issue with that. Just moving forward and see where it goes. You know, that's kind of cool. You guys are, how long is the lineup you have right now? I know you're just before COVID, but how long has it essentially been together?
I would say, let's see, about a year and a half after the whole pandemic is when we got our lineup that we have currently, with a few subs in there. And so what is that, like 2.5 years or 3 years? It's all running together.
It all blurs together. I know. All the years blur together. It's the start of 2024, just for context.
I know, right?
Yeah. So do you guys, it's funny being a Fleetwood Mac tribute band. It's kind of like, so everybody gets along.
I know. That's the other twist is that we actually get along.
Yeah. That's a real twist on the real Fleetwood Mac for sure. So, everybody's reasonably, hands off on each other, and everybody is there any relationships in the band or no?
We all have our own relationship aside, and we're all just like a family. We really are like a family. We're like brother and sisters. Minus the bickering part, because we actually all genuinely get along really, really well. And we just have a great time when we're hanging out. Like there's always a joke to be told or something's happening, and we're just like having a great time. It's always a party.
Nice. That's great. So putting the show together, putting the sets together, does that fall on any one particular person? Do you kind of do it by committee, or has it just evolved and you've kind of developed the format of the show?
Yeah. Our MD kind of, when he came on, he really got a nice structure to the show. And the way that he has designed our shows, whether it's a 90-minute, 2-hour, or 3-hour, he's really, really good at like structuring a nice show that has like, an arc and it flows well. And then it just has everybody up on their feet at the end. And it's a good set list, I would say, depending on 92 hours, 3 hours.
Man, you can push it to 3 hours. That's impressive.
We have pushed it to 3 hours, and I tell you what, it is a beast of a show.
Yeah, that's a high demand right there for sure. Is anyone is it Stevie or Lindsay or you? Does anyone kind of act as kind of like the thread that brings the weaves through the show? Does everybody have a moment where they introduce a song or talk in the middle, or is there any kind of elements like that?
I would say Stevie is definitely the star of the show. Our Nikki is such a performer, and she really knows how to bring them in. That being said, whoever has a song, they will kind of introduce it. So I do talk a lot, and actually Nikki and I, it kind of turns into like the girls show a lot of the times, because me and her just like one off each other all the time. Really good about ad-libbing, I would say. And then poor Tim, our Lindsay, he's just getting hated on because, that's classic Stevie and Lindsay, like bickering and fighting on stage. So Nikki is really good at like leaning into that, and it's hilarious, really. And then Tim is just kind of like, ooh, like poor me, and like, nah, not poor you.
That's good. It's the elephant in the room between the band. It's kind of like you got to play it up a little bit, lean into it a little bit. Is this your first experience at a tribute? Had you been in tributes, covers? What's your musical background?
This is my first tribute ever. And until I joined this band, I actually really didn't realize how big the tribute world was. It really blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, people are so dedicated to this. And I remember like seeing that message from my manager, and Fleetwood Mac tribute. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like Fleetwood Mac is genuinely my favorite band of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to run to my boyfriend. I was like, Fleetwood Mac tribute band? And he was like, you have to do it. And I was like, I know, I have to do it. And so I, put on my best outfit, met up with him, and the rest was history. And then I had a lot of work to do and a lot of songs to learn. Luckily, I already know all of the songs, but the sound.
You knew the tune. You knew
I
the
at least
tunes.
knew the tunes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sound design was the hardest part, but it was a really, really fun. It was the first time I ever really sound designed, and it was just a really great learning experience. I learned a lot. I've been in some other bands before, some bands trying to become bands. I work a lot. I've done a lot of children's things like Mommy and Me music classes and kids summer camps. I have a degree in musical theater, so I have a deep love for theater. And that's kind of my musical journey. I'm a classically trained pianist. I went to Berklee College of Music for jazz, studied jazz a little bit, and then I went to American Musical and Dramatic Academy, which is in LA and New York. I tried to do the Broadway thing. Didn't happen for me. I decided I wanted to come back and get more schooling in. I'm actually getting my master's right now in English and creative writing. So I'm not stepping away from music because music is my whole world. I just wanted to add writing to the mix, I guess. So but I also
you're
teach.
full on. Yeah, you're a full on creative. I mean, you're
totally.
absolutely in that creative world.
Yeah.
You're obviously way too smart to be in a rock band. So,
But here we are.
When you went, and here we are. So when you went into this, did you go into this particular project as the intention of Christine? Did you happen to go and maybe I'll do Stevie Nicks, or did you just kind of go, no, I'll be the keyboard player because that's my thing, and I'll do Christine McVie?
He was specifically looking for a Christine McVie.
Okay, gotcha.
And I was like, I'm your girl. I got you. I was terrified. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this. Like, this is such a big band. Will I survive? And then I played 16 hours a day practicing, like bruised fingers. And I was in another band at the time. And I was doing Christmas caroling at the time. So I had just learned 80 songs for Christmas caroling. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can learn a 3-hour set list, no problem.
And probably if it's Christmas caroling, you're learning crazy harmony parts, I'm sure, all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So where are you at? Are you kind of an alto?
I can be soprano, but I usually tend to be an alto.
Okay. Well, that's Christine's kind of in that low warm register, that's kind of cool. I love that sound. She was great. I love Christine.
I know. Gosh, rest in peace. That passing, it just broke my heart.
You're pretty young. So what got you into Fleetwood Mac?
My parents.
Was it? Yeah.
My dad had a record player. Still has that record player. Still has all of his old records, and I can remember dancing, like my parents holding me, dancing me, and something about Fleetwood Mac, something about the Rumors album, just hit me in my core and my soul, like for as young as I can remember. And anytime like anything happened or I was sad in life, I would always put Fleetwood Mac on, always. Or if I wasn't sure which way to go and I go into a store and, Dreams was playing or whatever, I'm like, okay, no, I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path, And then, and this opportunity came and it was just like, obviously I have to be a part of this.
Well, it sounds like it was absolutely, a meant to be kind of thing. And that album, you're right. That album was a monster. I'm significantly older than you. So I remember that album being out. And at that time, it was like everybody owned the same 3 albums. Everybody owned Peter Frampton, Frampton Comes Alive. Everybody owned Hotel California by the Eagles. And everybody owned Fleetwood Mac Rumors. Everybody. And it was just, those songs have transcended they're outside of music. They're just in the ether,
Yeah.
So which I think is part of the reason there are a lot of people doing their tribute. That music had a big impact on a lot of people. Clearly for you, it's even on another level where it's just, there's such a personal connection to those songs.
Yeah.
So how many shows, when things are going well, how many shows would you say you're doing a year? What would you like to do? What's a goal, a target? What do you see in the future for, Twisted Gypsy? What are you guys looking to do?
Yeah. So we're working almost every single weekend, which is amazing. And it's just so much fun. I would say the goal and the dream would be to go on tour and get a tour bus. And that could be in the works, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Nothing is set in stone, so you never know. But that would be the ultimate dream. We would love to get on some cruises. That would be great. Since I don't do the booking, but I do work with my manager a lot with the bookings, I just praise him for having to put up with what he has to put up with, and like actually getting a booking and organizing it and getting the money for us. And a lot of times he actually doesn't even take a cut because he just genuinely cares about this band. This is his passion project. He has several other businesses. And so he genuinely really cares about us. And I just think that is so unheard of. Not talking shit on managers or anything, but he's just a really good guy and just really cares about us and wants us to succeed. And I think with that kind of mindset, I think that is what we are doing. I think we are succeeding as a Fleetwood Mac tribute band. And I just see it getting better every year. And it's just such a joy to be a part of. It really is.
That's great. I mean, it is. No, and you can, there's some managers you can talk shit on for sure. There's, booking agents you can talk shit on, and there's bands you can talk shit on. So, I mean, there's no industry that doesn't have its fair amount of, a-holes, but music or not. But that's wonderful. I want to take a look at some video of you guys. So let's stop down. Let's look at some video of Twisted Gypsy. We'll come back. We'll chat a little bit more. Everybody, this is Twisted Gypsy. You'll find them at twistedgypsyband.com. Social media is Twisted-Gypsy on Facebook and at Twisted Gypsy Band on Instagram, and we'll link it all. But here's the video. We'll be back in a minute.
Keep us together. Running in the shadows. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It'll soon be here. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Players only
All right, that's Twisted Gypsy. And once again, you'll find them at twistedgypsyband.com, and that'll take you to all the social media. And we are talking to Melia Scaletti. So thanks for the time again, Melia. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It is a fun, high-energy band, that's for sure. And I will say that is a way that you guys are a little distinctive from other Fleetwood Mac tributes. That energy level, the 100% live, the fact that the whole band is pretty engaged. Your drummers look like he's having a blast up there,
Oh my gosh.
which is very Mick Fleetwood.
Yes.
And
You know,
we talked a
Milo,
little bit about the dynamics. Go ahead.
sorry, Milo's really, really good about captivating Mick's essence. He's got that smile on, and
Yeah.
he's like jumping up and down, and he's just got all the energy in the world. He's also just a joy to work with. He's just so sweet and just really cares about like the sunset on the drive in and the beautiful snow-capped mountains, and it's just so great to snow-covered hills, I guess I should say.
Yeah, right. Yeah. We don't have a lot of mountains in California. We got some. Yeah, no, that's good. It sounds like it's a lot of adults that are in this for the right reasons, there's not a lot of drama, there's not a lot of, weird, crazy stuff going on. It's just a bunch of people that are taking the music seriously and having a good time with it. We already talked about a little bit about the Stevie and Lindsay dynamic, but there was the other dynamics in the band. We'll leave Mick part out because he was in it too, but we'll leave him out for this part of it. But there is a you and John dynamic. Is that play out on stage in any way? Do you guys have fun with that?
Absolutely, it plays out on stage. Now, I will say, Eric, our bass player, he doesn't talk much, but when he does, he definitely lets you know. But it's very much a love-hate thing. Like, one minute we hate each other, and then the next minute we're holding on to each other for Landslide, and then the next minute I sing Little Lies, and I talk shit on my ex-husband, and you make love and fun.
Nice.
You know who didn't make loving fun? My ex-husband. It's just lots of little jabs here and there, but we're just like having so much fun on stage.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's a fun approach to take because, like I said, it's the obviously thing that's underlying a lot of that whole band dynamic.
Yeah.
So
I think it's also
pretty
great.
good.
Yeah, it's a great way to like spit some facts about Fleetwood Mac, where it's not just saying for this song they did this. It's like where we try to play like we're actually like in the heat of the moment, and like what would they really say, and like we know that there was tension, but I actually saw Fleetwood Mac once in concert, and it blew my mind, and I'm so grateful I got to see that before Christine McVie passed. So I did get to see them in concert, but it wasn't so much in the 70s when they were like actually at each other's throats, and like, or in the 90s when there was some performance, I forget where it was, but Stevie Nicks was singing Silver Springs, and she's just like staring at Lindsay like with complete hate and disgust, like this song is about you and you know it. I love that.
Yeah.
Everybody loves that tension, it's like it's almost too uncomfortable, and it just makes for great. I mean, of course they're gonna keep people interested with that kind of drama.
Yeah, no, I think, and they obviously all at some point realize we might as well lean into this in some way too.
Absolutely.
We're older now; we can look at it in the rearview mirror and kind of have fun with it ourselves too. So that's awesome. Okay, so you are a trained piano player. You are a actual musician, not like all of us hacks out here. So you knew the songs, you love the songs. You might have tinkled around on playing some of those songs just for fun, but then you're now part of a band, and you've got to literally now dissect these songs, pull them apart, and learn them, and the vocal part. So what was your process? What did you do? Did you grab sheet music? Did you just listen like crazy? Did you do a little of both? How'd you do it?
Well, I'm really lucky because Aaron, our MD, kind of had, we call it the Twisted Gypsy Bible. So it's kind of like the sheet music for almost everything, which was so helpful in learning all of this stuff. And then also he was just wonderful to work with because anytime I had a question or I needed clarification on anything, I could just call him up and say, hey, I don't understand, or can you send me a video? And he was more than happy to help me with that. So I'm really grateful for that. And then on the sound design part, though, that was definitely a big challenge for me because I had just gotten this keyboard. Like, I saw it at NAMM and I just had to have it, of course. And I messed around with it a little bit, but I didn't really know it that great. And I may have told them that I did anyways, but we won't talk about that. Luckily, Roland has tutorials for like everything. And I just like watched every single tutorial, and I basically went to school for my keyboard. And then I learned how to really sound design. Now, I know Fleetwood Mac songs like the back of my hand, so I know what they sound like. So it was no problem knowing that I had to get to this sound. I wouldn't even say it was a problem. The challenge was to get to the sound. And so I spent hours.
Yeah, how much scrolling are you doing, hitting, chords and hitting notes going?
Just like do, just constant.
Yeah.
And because
you'll know it when you hear it, but you got to go through a lot of sounds.
And even like, there's like all these organ sounds, and even like they don't quite sound like you want them to. So I had to like go in and EQ some of the sounds, which I can do on this keyboard, which is amazing. And I just like, I also just wanted to do a really good job. And I care so much about the music that I wanted to make sure that I was bringing, everything that I could to the table and really captivate the sounds of Fleetwood Mac. And so it was, a lot of tears were shed, and a lot of Band-Aids were put on my fingers, and then a lot of praying was had. But I think I did a pretty good job at getting to the sounds that we have today. So I'm really proud of that.
Yeah. Well, it does sound great. I mean, the band sounds really, really good. I give you all the credit in the world. The tribute world, you had mentioned earlier how it's just kind of a whole new world for you when you got into it. What's been kind of your just overall impression of what it is, and what caught you off guard? What didn't you expect? Or what's your thoughts on just the whole world? It's pretty weird.
It is. It really just blew my mind. Like I couldn't possibly imagine like seeing a sea of 10,000 people coming to see this tribute band. Like, I imagine 10,000 people at the actual band. But, here we are playing for thousands and thousands of people. Not 10,000 every single time, but we have played those big shows, and it just is kind of mind-blowing that people are so devoted to the music, and they want to hear the music. And it makes perfect sense because, I want to hear the music, and I want to maybe not pay $300 a ticket to go hear the music. Maybe, maybe $10 is a little more reasonable. But, and, we have fans that are so dedicated to us, and they come to almost every single one of our shows. And we play all over the place. Like, we'll play up in Paso Robles, and then San Diego, and then Arizona. No, I'm not saying all the fans go out to Arizona, but I mean, we have a pretty big grid of where we go, and it's actually just so like humbling and like it makes me feel so special to know that these fans care so much to follow us around, and it just warms me right up. My gosh.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful for our fans because they really we even have some fans that make t-shirts with our pictures on them, and then they come and just are so excited to be there, and it just makes me so happy. And then the children, when we play like family friendly shows, they're just like looking up at us on the stage and just in awe, and gosh, it's just too much to handle sometimes. So I'm just blown away by the tribute world, and I think, genuinely across the board, people do it for the celebration of the music. And I just think that's so cool.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. It's a real super positive vibe, because what you're doing is you're doing it because you like the music. You appreciate the music. You want to celebrate the music of Fleetwood Mac. Obviously, people are there because they're fans of Fleetwood Mac. So it's a chance for everybody, the people on stage and the people in the audience, to just enjoy it together. And it's always funny because once in a while I'll get comments from folks who haven't seen us, or maybe haven't seen any tribute bands, and they kind of get a little, they kind of, put it aside. They're like, I only like the real band. I wouldn't want to go see these guys who think they're the real band. I'm like, nobody in a tribute thinks they're the real band. Nobody thinks they are. We're all just there because we enjoy doing this music. And, we happen to look or sound like, or we're going to try to look and sound like, and we're just all here to enjoy it together. Nobody here thinks they're going to become rich and famous. The Fleetwood Mac is already rich and famous. It's already been done. So we just want to celebrate the music. And I think that's the best way to look at it and the best way to approach it. And if you do it that way, the audience goes along for the ride and everybody has a great time. So
absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. You're in California. I'm in California. So I got to go out and see you.
Yeah. I've got to check you guys out too. Maybe we can do a show together or something.
It's not a bad fit. Fleetwood Mac, Huey Lewis, the News. That's a good fit.
Maybe Billy Nation
like
too,
it.
Because we
and Billy Nation. If you like one, you probably like all
You're
three.
Right.
Hall & Oates too. I always want to do a Hall & Oates with Hall & Oates.
That'd
Seems
be
like a
great.
good fit too. So we'll have to do a festival. We'll
Yes,
just do a festival.
yes.
We'll just do well, Melia, thanks so much for joining me. I very much appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you
Once
so much
again,
for having me.
The band is Twisted Gypsy. You'll find them at twistedgypsyband.com. Facebook is Twisted-Gypsy. Instagram is at Twisted Gypsy Band. Thanks for making that so easy for us, Twisted Gypsy. Some things get taken and you have to, no, I know, you have to do what you got to do. I totally get it. So find them, go to their website. I'm sure you'll find everything, or their Facebook page. You'll find everything. So I appreciate it, Melia. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Say hi to the band.
Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you on the road and at a show. Check them out when you get a chance, everybody. Twisted Gypsy is the band.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. That's going to do it for this episode of the Ultimate Tribute Band podcast. We thank you all for joining me. My name is Roger. We'll talk to you again next week. That'll do it for today's show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Really means a lot to me. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, email me at roger@tributebandpodcast.com. Or if you have questions for future guests, you can email me as well. We'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for watching the Ultimate Tribute Band podcast. Please like, subscribe, share, tell somebody about it. Talk to you soon.